Hello everyone, and welcome to the Stars and Scrubs NBA Daily Fantasy Show. My name is Dylan Burd, here once again on the Sports Bird podcast. It is Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021, and I'm excited to get back for the second Stars and Scrubs show ever. We had our first on the Sal Vetri YouTube channel yesterday. Went really well. Excited to get going with it again. This, just for those who haven't watched this yet, this will be a short form video that I'll be doing every day, highlighting a few stars and a few scrubs on the DFS slate for that day. So just, right before we get started here, just wanted to mention that you could follow me on Twitter at sports_bird. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out. In addition, be sure to check out my golf DFS video that was just released today with my co-host Glenn Goodman, that we were talking about daily fantasy for the Waste Management Phoenix Open this week. Really excited for that great golf tournament. So go check that out as well. You could also follow me on Instagram, same as Twitter, at sports_bird. That Instagram was just newly formed, so be sure to follow me there. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon. My Patreon was just formed in December, and basically I give out NBA player props for 2 days of the week, NBA player prop podcasts on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We also have a great Discord chat where we're talking constantly about NBA props every single day. So, that's just a great community there that we've been forming. So be sure to check that out. And also just wanted to let you know about a partner of SportsBird, and that is Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports app, but for player props, which is perfect for anybody who loves player props. And if you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, you likely know my player prop videos. You likely like player props, but if you like player props, this is for you. You get presented with 10 player props for the NBA. You have to choose 5 of them to put in your lineup, and each one gets assigned a point total. The riskier the prop, the more points it gets if it hits. So for example, if an over or under, if an over is plus 120, then that would be worth more points than an over which is minus 110. So the more risky the prop, the more points you get. The one with the most points at the end gets a cash prize. If you sign up today with the promo code BIRD, that's BURD, Thrive Fantasy will give you an instant match bonus up to $50 on your first deposit of $20 or more. You download Thrive Fantasy at the App Store or the Play Store, and you can also visit their website, thrivefantasy.com. The link to all this to sign up in the description below. Be sure to use the promo code BIRD, B-U-R-D. Now let's get right to the slate tonight. And for the first star that we are going to talk about on the slate, we are looking at small forward Kawhi Leonard at $9,200 against the Brooklyn Nets. So the Nets have been an insane team to watch since the James Harden trade. And, that loss to the Wizards last game, first of all, is absolutely hilarious. Second of all, maybe one of the worst losses I've ever seen. Up by 5 points with 9 seconds left and end up losing the game. So brutal. But yeah, they're allowing so many points, but they're also scoring so many. And the totals of the last 3 net games, just to give you an idea of how crazy this has been: 295, 272, and 260. That is insane. That 260 game actually went into overtime with the Hawks. Now, as a result, the over-under in this Nets-Clippers game is at 243, and I think that if they weren't playing the Clippers, who are a good defensive team, I think it would be even higher. The Nets are the 5th highest-paced team in the NBA, and they rank 28th in the NBA in opponent points per game at 117.7, and until they address their holes in their roster, I think it's possible that they could catapult all the way to last in the league in defense. Now, the Stars have been going off as a result against the Nets lately. We saw Bam Adebayo go for 41 points, a couple weeks ago against them. We also saw Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook score 37 points for Beal, 41 points for Westbrook in that last game. And yeah, you get Kawhi Leonard here at a discounted price, in my opinion, at $9,200. He was priced at $9,900 against the Knicks last game. Kawhi's averaging 25.9 points per game. He's averaging 5.2 rebounds per game and 5.4 assists per game to go along with 45.9 DraftKings points. His usage rate up to 30.9%, the 98th percentile amongst forwards. I think it'll be a big night for him against the Brooklyn Nets, who are just allowing a ton of points to everyone and a ton of points to Stars. Now, keeping with this game here and looking at another star on this slate, it is Kawhi Leonard's teammate, Paul George. Yes, I'm extremely interested, and I think it is completely rational to play both of these guys on the slate tonight from this same game, and it's just because of how bad this Brooklyn Nets defense is. I'm not going to repeat the same Nets stats. I'm not going to repeat the same over-under. You get the gist of it, but let's just talk about Paul George here. Paul George, I also think, he's just having a phenomenal season, averaging 23 0.6 points per game in 33.9 minutes per game, shooting 50.2% from the field, 45.4% from three, and 91.3% from the free throw line. So he's having that 50-40-90 season thus far. He also has a 29.3% usage rate, which ranks in the 95th percentile amongst all forwards. And I think in addition to Kawhi Leonard, you're also getting a discount on Paul George here. He's been priced low to mid nines, pretty much throughout the whole last 10 games. Now comes all the way down into the eights. I think Paul George is a nice play in addition to Kawhi Leonard. And I'm mostly leaning towards Clippers here because there's just so much unknown with this Nets offense still. Yeah, all three of these guys, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, all those guys are putting up crazy stats because they're scoring a ton of points. But the Clippers are a good defensive team, and James Harden priced ridiculously high at 10,900, especially for a guy who's been taking like 14, sometimes even nine shots per game since he's been on the Nets. So I don't really know, for a guy that's not going to shoot that much, I'm not going to pay up that price. If I was going to go to the Brooklyn Nets, I would probably go Kevin Durant at 10,100 or Kyrie Irving at 8,800. I expect that those will be in consideration for me, but right now I do prefer the Clippers. Now let's move to our third star play of the slate, and that is point guard Damian Lillard against the Washington Wizards, priced at $10,700. So with CJ McCollum out, Damian Lillard has been going nuts. And in 5 games, since this McCollum injury, Lillard is averaging 31.8 points per game, 8.2 assists per game, taking 20.7 shots per game, and 11.2 threes per game. It's just wild, the production that you are getting from Damian Lillard. Now he'll go up against the number 1 pace team in the league, that is the Washington Wizards. Now the Wizards, in addition to being the number 1 pace team in the league, so expect a high scoring game. The over-under in this game is at 239.5. Their defense is also brutal. They rank 30th in the NBA in opponent points per game allowed at 121.8. Damian Lillard did only play 27 minutes last night against the Bucks, but that was because it was a massive blowout. But before that, he had 6 straight games of 49 DraftKings points or more. The Wizards also rank 30th, so dead last in the NBA in opponent points per game to point guards. I think Damian Lillard goes off tonight against the Washington Wizards, and as a result, I like him as one of my stars tonight. Now let's move on to the fourth star play that we have on the slate tonight, and that is shooting guard Bradley Beal, the Washington Wizards, at $9,900. So with a high scoring game here between the Wizards and the Blazers, you get a high scoring player on both teams. So I do like Bradley Beal. I mentioned I just like Damian Lillard. I do like Bradley Beal. Beal's just another guy who's having an insane year. He's leading the NBA in scoring, averaging 34.9 points per game, grabbing 5.1 boards per game, and 4.7 assists per game. And as a result, that's 52 DraftKings points per game. Beal's usage rate all the way up at 36.5%, which ranks in the 99th percentile amongst all wings. Portland's defense also not very good, just like Washington. Not as bad as Washington, but pretty bad. It ranks 26th in opponent points per game at 116.8. Portland also ranks 26th in opponent threes made per game at 14.2, 25th in opponent three-pointers attempted per game at 37.5, and 20th in the NBA in opponent three-point percentage at 37.8. So, bad three-point defense, bad general defense, fast-paced game, high-scoring game. I like Bradley Beal in addition to Damian Lillard as one of my stars on this slate. Now moving into the scrubs on the slate. First we have combo guard DeAnthony Melton at $4,500 against the Indiana Pacers. DeAnthony Melton was one of my scrubs last night, my favorite scrub play on the slate last night. It helped me cash all 3 of my lineups last night with him getting garbage time minutes as well. He had 40.75 DraftKings points in just 27 minutes. Again, helpful that he got those garbage time points. Like I said, Melton is really good, and as long as Grayson Allen is out, he's out right now due to COVID protocols. As long as he is out, Melton is going to get increased minutes, increased opportunity. Melton's only priced at $200 higher than yesterday at $4,500, and he scored 35 and 40 DraftKings points in back-to-back games. Good scorer, gets assists, gets rebounds, increased opportunity here. Indiana isn't a great matchup, but I'm not worried about that with the opportunity that Melton is going to get at this price. So Melton is one of my favorite scrubs once again on the slate. Now let's move to our second scrub play on the day, and that is center of the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Looney, priced at $3,400. So the Warriors roster is gutted of bigs, and James Wiseman is out. Marquise Chris out for the season. James Wiseman out for a short period of time. Looney will likely start in this game and will see significant minutes regardless here. He played 23 minutes last game and had 23.5 fantasy points. I think he'll see upwards of 25 minutes tonight. Now they are going to have some small ball lineups with Draymond Green, with Eric Pascal. Eric Pascal, he he's questionable for tonight. I don't know if he's actually going to play. I think he probably will play because it said that he did practice yesterday, I believe. Now, if he does play, then yeah, they're going to have some more small ball lineups, but I still think that regardless, Kevin Looney, he's the only true center that's really active tonight. He's going to get significant minutes. I still think upwards of 25, regardless of whether we see small ball lineups, and we will see small ball, but regardless, I still think that Kevin Looney plays a significant amount of minutes. Now, the Celtics are a good defensive team, but I don't think that this matchup is anything to sweat here. You're getting this guy $3,400. He's going to play significant minutes. So as a result, I do like Kevin Looney a lot in this price range at $3,400. Now, moving on to our third scrub on the slate and final player that we are going to talk about today. It is center Tristan Thompson at $3,900 for the Boston Celtics. So the Warriors and Celtics, I did mention, they are playing each other. Now, Tristan Thompson, he hasn't done much this season in terms of fantasy production. He's priced down at $3,900 because he's only playing 22 minutes per game, averaging 5.9 points per game, 8.4 rebounds per game. He did start 14 of 16 games this season, but it was pretty much only because of due to injury. The Celtics were finally fully healthy the last 2 games, and he came off the bench. But now Marcus Smart, he has a calf injury. Marcus Smart is going to miss a few weeks, and per Fantasy Labs, Tristan Thompson could once again be in line to start. And in my opinion, it'll be him and Jeff Teague that get the slight increase in minutes with Marcus Smart sidelined the next few weeks. And I think that Tristan Thompson, in terms of this matchup, he could have a pretty huge night. The Warriors ranked 29th in opponent rebounds per game, 23rd in opponent points per game, and they're also depleted as bigs, as I spoke about. Kevin Looney's really the only big. They're going to be going small ball. Tristan Thompson, he has been a great rebounder this year like he always has been. His defensive rebound percentage is at 25.5%, which ranks in the 89th percentile amongst all bigs. In addition, his offensive rebounding percentage is at 12%, which ranks in the 84th percentile amongst all bigs. So I think Tristan Thompson could grab double-digit rebounds tonight, maybe even get up to a double-double tonight at this price at $3,900, and as a result, that is why I like him as my third scrub tonight. So that is a wrap for the Stars and Scrubs show for Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. Really excited to get this show going. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. In addition, be sure to follow me on Twitter at sports_bird. Follow me on Instagram at sports_bird. Be sure to check out my Patreon in the link below. And also be sure to check out my waste management golf daily fantasy video that was just released today. The link to that is also below. Goodbye, everyone, and good luck with your DFS lineups tonight.